Hello everybody, this is gonna be how I do my makeup to still have like that clean girl aesthetic with like acne prone skin. It's a form of makeup that like really enhances your features. Listen, I'm not a beauty guru by any means, but I feel like I've perfected this over the years. This is my skin. This is what my skin's looking like right now. First things first, you're gonna get a Real Technique sponge. I feel like a lot of people are kind of going away from sponges, but I still like really like them because like with my skin, I have like a lot of texture on my face, and I feel like with acne prone skin, that's just like what happens. I like to use these to like make sure that we don't see like any streaks or marks and like really blend stuff out. I feel like I use a pretty good mix of like drugstore and high-end makeup product. I have like a pretty strict everyday routine. I don't have like tons and tons of makeup, but I do have like different variations of like blushes and bronzers and things like that. So what I do first after I have my skincare on is I go in with the Physicians Formula concealer. This is the Butter Glow. Something you're gonna notice in here is a lot of my makeup products do not have pore clogging ingredients, so I'm gonna like not beat the dead horse with that one. That's just like a given with pretty much all of the makeup that I use. So these are like my top recommendations. Honestly, a little bit of this goes such a long way. Like I don't use that much. I use like one kind of wand. I know you're not like supposed to apply the wand directly onto your skin, but I'm a rebel. What can I say? So I just like apply this like literally anywhere I need it because it ends up pretty much blending out into like all of your skin. When it says like Butter Glow, they're not lying. Like, oh my goodness. Something I've learned is you want to do like the bare minimum on the outer sides of your face and more inwards, and then blend out type thing, especially for like concealer and stuff. Like look at already. Look at how much better. This concealer is amazing. It is like so full coverage, but it doesn't feel like heavy on your skin. So I really, really like that. Some days, if I really feel like I need to like balance out my skin tone for whatever reason, I'll go in with Maybelline's BB cream. This has been my tried and true since I was 12 years old. I've never loved a BB cream the way I love Maybelline. So I'm not gonna be using this today, but it is like really good, especially since the concealer is a little more full coverage. You do not need a foundation. If you're doing like an everyday natural makeup routine, like glowy clean girl makeup, I would say like avoid foundation at all costs. So already, look at it. Look at how much better that is. There's no filter right now that I'm showing you. Then because we're going for like that natural glowy clean girl look, liquid products, especially for your base, are gonna be like our go-to. Like we wanna look glowy. I have two recommendations for like liquid product. The first one is the Rare Beauty Liquid Glow or whatever it's called. I love this. This is gonna be the one I'm using today. Other one is actually a cream blush, and it's the Rhode Pocket Blush. These are amazing too, and these are great if you're like on the go, but today I am gonna be using the Rare Beauty one. There are still some days where I feel like I'm using like too much, even when I like just use the tiniest bits. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put it on my cheekbone. I know this is where people normally say do highlighter, but I'm gonna focus it like right here where you would normally put highlighter and blend up to just like really lift my face, and then I'm gonna put a little on my nose. You put your liquid blush directly right here on this like kind of like base of your cheeks right here. It's gonna like be like too much. You're gonna like just like kind of like boop, boop, boop along that cheekbone, and I go like a little tiny bit on my nose. I love doing blush on my nose. I love looking sunburnt, not being sunburnt because that's bad for you, but I love looking sunburnt. So I then go in with the bottom of my beauty blender. That's why I love it. And I just like blend up. I even recommend like putting it up into kind of like your forehead, which I know sounds crazy. And then you can kind of start bringing it to the middle, but like look at, so beautiful. I love it. I love it. And then you keep doing it on this side. I love the Rare Beauty liquid blushes. Like they're just so good. They're so good. So the bronzer that I use, once again, I go in with a cream bronzer to like keep that kind of like glowy look. And I go in with Say's bronzer, and I use the shade Light Bronze because I'm pale. And then I go with the Real Techniques, like kind of, I think this is technically a blush brush. Real Techniques brush 200. Like you don't need anything expensive or crazy. And then I just like do like boop. I just do like a line underneath my cheekbone, so not right on it, but like right underneath. And then I go on my forehead, and I kind of go ham with the bronzer on my forehead because we're gonna blend it all out and like kind of like move it down. And then I'll do the tiniest little bit right there on my nose. We're not trying to contour, we're just trying to make ourselves not look nearly as pasty as we are. Of course, you can maneuver this any way you want and use the products that are good for your skin tone. If you have a similar skin tone to me, that's the only reason I'm like even telling you guys shades. But this just gives like depth to your skin. With the blush, you have to like kind of maneuver it in every which way. With this, you just like tap, 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 tap it. This is what the base is looking like so far. Very glowy, very clean, and this is what my skin looks like underneath. No matter what your skin looks like this sounds so cheesy, stick with me here, but I think like truly everyone is beautiful. I do not notice people's acne. I don't. I know it can be like a big source of insecurity, especially if you didn't deal with it your whole life and all of a sudden you start breaking out, because I was there, but truly I've never noticed it on anyone else. And this isn't necessarily to like hide it. It's just like enhancing your natural features, so it doesn't really matter, right? I knew I was gonna forget something at my mom's, and the thing that I forgot was my powder. But normally here, what I would do is I would get my powder and I would focus it on my T-zone and then like kind of on the areas that we put like the liquid product. And I use like a translucent powder. I use the ColourPop translucent powder because it was cheap, easy, and I like it. And I use the loose setting powder for it, but you could use like any kind. The big goal is to do your powder like this and put it along the areas of your face that would crease. You're not necessarily trying to matte yourself up because that like defeats the purpose of like the glowy makeup. You're just trying to make sure your makeup doesn't move on your face too much. Once I have like my face kind of like set with powder, I will go in with a makeup wipe, and I use this to wipe my hands, and then I go around my lips. I cannot not get makeup on my lips and my eyebrows, so I just kind of like dust it off lightly, and then I go in with the Anastasia Brow Wiz. I use the color deep brown, I believe, medium brown, my bad. And I just kind of fill in the sparse areas, but I'm really gentle with this. I do not use like a brow pomade or anything that will set my brows in place. I personally have this is my natural eyebrow before I do anything to it. I have pretty thick eyebrows. I just have like little sparse areas, so I just go in and clean up the sparse areas. That's all I do. If you feel like you need to fill in your eyebrows a little more, that's totally like your prerogative. For me personally, I have thick eyebrows, so I don't do much to them, but I would avoid pomade and I would avoid anything that is gonna make your eyebrows look like sticky. Guys, I'm about to pull out an absolute relic. Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, I should have pulled out Modern Renaissance because Jesus, but no, this is the one I have. I'm gonna just get like a really fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm gonna get the shade Tempera, and I'm gonna just like dust this on top of my eyelids. And we're gonna do something really scary, but I need you guys to stick with me and hear me out. I use an angled brow brush for this, and I get the shade Cypress Umber. I know, you're like, clean girl makeup, what? Like, what's going on? But what I do is I just very lightly, this is how I do my wings. This is how I've always done my wings. You start from the outside wing and go in. Boom, like that. But that's how I do my wings even when I do like liquid eyeliner. That's just my tip for you. It's way easier than trying to like outline your eye and then do it. Like, you want to just like connect it all at once, right? It just gives like a look to your eyelashes that makes your eyes look like wider, and it makes your eyelashes look fuller once you do mascara. And that's why I do it with eyeshadow, because the more it kind of blends out, the more it just looks like you have like wispy eyelashes. I have like naturally smaller eyes, so for me that step is essential. We're also not at all done with our base, so I just have to do like the eyes and then I get to this part. The next thing I do is I use the Rare Beauty blush. This is just their like regular illuminizer blush, and I know you're gonna be like, Gina, you said powder products. This is great because it is just so glowy. Mine looks beat up because she's well loved. This is in the shade Hope. This is just like the most beautiful pink, girly, cutesy, I will say like bridal. Like, it almost feels like a bridal shade. I really like it for that reason, because it's just like glowy and natural. And I just like focus this on top of where I put Worth, and I go really light, and I do this, and then I go on my nose. But the only reason I use this as a powder product is to just enhance it and make everything like look glowier. This sounds like a Rare Beauty ad. None of this was gifted to me. This is all things I bought with my own money, but if Rare Beauty ever wants to send me PR, I'll happily accept. Girls, slide into my emails. Anyway, I use the Rare Beauty highlighter in Flaunt. This is objectively a little too dark for my skin tone, so I go like really light on it. I just like misjudged it in the lighting of the store. So all I do is put it kind of like on top right here, right under my eyelid. And then I go on my nose specifically, and I kind of like blend it up my nose. Next, what you want to do is like blend to your heart's desire, girl. Like, this is an IT Cosmetics brush that I got when I was, I don't know, maybe 15 years old. Like, I have no idea how this came into my possession, but I have it. Blends it out so perfectly, and it like combines the product so it just looks like glowy and pretty and natural. Like, I love it, I love it, I love it. Next, we're gonna curl our eyelashes and apply mascara. The mascara I'm using today is Benefit's Fan Fest. I know this is like their newest one. To me, it's like their most underrated. I love this mascara. Ideally, I would say use a mascara that is brown, because a brown mascara still gives like the effect where it's like really voluminizing and lengthening, but it looks like a little more natural usually. Me though, I'm gonna be using this deep black mascara right now. I make sure that the wand is pointing this way no matter what side I use it. Just look at the difference. Yeah. The lip products that I use like just every day in my routine, I use a liner and a gloss. I use the Makeup Forever lip liner in Wherever Walnut. Did I get this because Sabrina Carpenter wears it? I did. I used the Say lip gloss in the color Kiss most days. This is just like my everyday one. It's so beautiful and it's so creamy and it's like not super sticky. I love it so much. And that is our makeup look. I'm gonna get ready real quick and do my hair.